If you are from a brand, any brand, and you are coming across this video, I beg you to please watch. If there's any brands out there that want to take part in some gifting, and I will post all about you and love you forever and support you forever. First of all, Subway, it is a crime that you have not sponsored me yet, because I literally eat Subway every single week and I videotape it every single week. Second of all, you messed up my order, completely messed it up, didn't put on my condiments, put on tomatoes and cucumbers when I asked for them to be taken off, and now, I don't even want to eat this. This isn't even good anymore. The video I made yesterday definitely ruffled some feathers in the comments. Not really sure why. Comments in my comment section saying, I'm so embarrassing, I'm so desperate. Why am I doing that? Why am I begging for sponsorships again? I'm not begging for sponsorships. I don't understand why when I do completely normal things that all influencers and content creators do, why it's such a big deal when I do them, but nobody bats an eye when others do.
When will they learn? Will they ever learn? Well, this one for sure didn't learn. Today we're going to talk again about entitled and annoying influencers, and about influencers on surprise TikTok yet again, who are begging for free stuff. This is an individual who has millions and millions of followers on TikTok. She's very well known on TikTok for eating her lunch. She has a job as a school teacher, and that is how she got her following, by showing her lunch and eating it at school. And now she's on social media begging brands to sponsor her, begging companies to send her free stuff. It doesn't matter what it is, just send over free stuff. This person has a full-time job and has millions of followers on TikTok and is begging for free shit. It might be a surprise to you, but that didn't go down well with her audience. We're talking about Noelle Cheney, a TikTok influencer who is now infamous for begging brands for free stuff on social media. And it's not the first time that she's done this. She is somebody who is a serial product sponsorship beggar on her TikTok. So let's take a look.
If you are from a brand, any brand, and you are coming across this video, I beg you to please watch. I doubt this will get any traction, but I'm just going to try, because
calling any brands, calling any and all brands who come across this video, please watch. I love you forever. So any brands are welcome.
I am planning my bachelorette weekend. It's coming up in a couple months and I'm so freaking excited. And I'm not gonna tell all y'all exactly where I'm going yet, but I will say we are going to the beach because I love the beach. And I'm working on putting some gifts together for all of my guests, my best friends in the world, that are so graciously coming on this trip with me and spending money to be with me. And the way I view this trip is, yes, it's my bachelorette, but I view it more as I'm thanking my friends for walking into my life and changing my life for the better, being my inspiration, being my motivation, and just being such great friends to me. So this trip is really a thank you to them.
This trip is really a thank you to them. And if you like warmth, and if you like the sun, and if you like beaches, this sounds like a fun bachelorette party, a fun bachelorette weekend. But if you want to thank the people in your personal life, maybe just get them gifts yourself. Buy them with the money that you make in your full-time job, and also on YouTube with millions of followers.
Because they're spending money to be with me. Some of them are in my wedding, and I just love them all so much. So I want to give them the best weekend ever. Everything that my maid of honor, my sister, and I are planning, we are keeping everybody, the whole group in mind. It's not just only what I want to do. It's things that, yes, that I would like to do, but that I also think the group would like to do as well. Really want their gifts to be amazing. My sister and I have already decided on some things we want to try to give them.
So she has already some gifts decided on with her sister that she would love to give them. But let's remember, calling any and all brands. Here comes the pitch.
But if there's any brands out there that want to take part in some gifting, and I will post all about you and love you forever and support you forever. But just direct message me if you're interested, or you have any ideas. I'm just so excited to thank my girls for sticking with me. So yeah.
So she is planning together with her sister her bachelorette weekend, and she's going to pay for some of the stuff, but if any and all brands, she's not even very critical here what brands that are supposed to be. If they want to gift products for her guests, then they are more than welcome. This didn't go down well with her audience, and the people are in the comment section in that TikTok saying, don't choose a destination bachelorette then if you can't appropriately thank them with your own money. And the creator answers, what an odd thing to say to a fellow teacher and content creator. But it's really not, because it comes across as very baggy. It comes across as very cheap. Gift me things because I already spent money on the trip and they spent money on the trips. But now I would like for you, any brand who is interested in this, and I will post about your stuff forever and I will love you forever, if you would just gift me some more things so I can show appreciation to the people in my life, then that does come across as strange. It is not uncommon that people on social media will say, hey, I use this product, I like this product, would be wonderful if the brand could sponsor me. It is weird in my opinion, it comes across as strange. I'm personally not a fan of it. But if it comes across as fun or on brand and it doesn't look like you're begging, then maybe they have a chance also to get sponsored by those brands. But this just came across as weird, and most people thought so. Her own followers thought so in her own comment section. We will get back to this post, which sparked a lot of controversy about this TikToker in a bit, because it's not the first time that she is doing these kind of things. A while ago, she was presenting her school lunch. She was ordering from Subway, and she was on a rant about a sandwich that wasn't done to her liking, not what she had ordered, allegedly, not the standards that she is used to, allegedly, but she also used this misfortune of ordering falsely, surprise, on the Subway app to ask the company to sponsor her, which is kind of obnoxious if you regularly on your social media have to say, why don't you sponsor me? Would you like to gift me products? Look at me, I have millions of followers. This is something that this individual has done a couple of times, and people caught wind of that after the latest controversy when she asked for free stuff for her bachelorette party. As a TikTok creator with over 5 million followers and somebody who has a full-time job, let's not forget that.
All right, we got today's lunch at school. I got a wrap this time though, just to kind of switch it up. She's thick today.
If you haven't heard about this content creator before, this is what typically her TikToks or videos look like, that she shows her audience what she has for lunch at school.
You're kidding me. Are you kidding me? I asked for no tomatoes and no cucumbers, and what do they give me? Tomatoes and cucumbers. I'm literally probably one of their most loyal customers, and they do this to me. Cheers. Oh, I didn't put mayo on it either.
So somebody allegedly messed up her order, or something went wrong with the order. She presents it as if it's Subway's fault because they made the order wrong. It turns out, surprise, it's not. It turns out she messed this up. The saga continues because even a messed up Subway sandwich, she's a great customer there. She purchases products there regularly. She buys their Subway sandwiches regularly. She uses this yet again with her platform to get them to pay her.
First of all, Subway, it is a crime that you have not sponsored me yet, because I literally eat Subway every single week and I videotape it every single week. Second of all, you messed up my order, completely messed it up, didn't put on my condiments, put on tomatoes and cucumbers when I asked for them to be taken off, and now, I mean, I don't even want to eat this. Like, this isn't even good anymore. How can you do this to me? Seriously, this is messed up.
So this is messed up. Subway messed up her order. They put cucumbers and tomatoes on the sub that she didn't want, and they didn't add mayo. That's a crime against humanity. And she clearly states here, Subway messed up. But Subway, first of all, why haven't you sponsored me? I'm a loyal customer. Well, why would a brand want to sponsor you when you have a reaction like this? Because you got the wrong thing. That's the first thing. Why would a company want to connect themselves to you when you react in such a way saying, okay, this is not even edible anymore. I need to toss this away because it has cucumbers and tomatoes on it. But hey, still a good opportunity trying to get a sponsorship out of Subway. There are not that many fast food chains in her hometown. That is something that she says later, so she doesn't have that much of an option, but she's there a lot and she typically likes the orders. But not this one. But you, Subway, could still sponsor her. Speaking of trying to take every opportunity to get sponsorships and recognition. Not a smart move here. First of all, why would Subway now want to sponsor you when you are that negative? Brands typically don't want to connect themselves to somebody who is so ranty and is so annoyed on her TikTok with over 5 million followers because Subway messed up their order. Doesn't make any sense. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. After this TikTok, the Subway employee who made her food, she came to TikTok and she clarified some things that didn't necessarily make Noelle look too good.
You're kidding me. Are you kidding?
Hey, so I made this. That's what was on the receipt. I know that's not what you usually order because you order a lot. Okay, so I usually have an idea of what you're ordering. And when I got your receipt, I was like, this is not usually what she orders. Given I should have called you, I should have called the number on your receipt. But with Subway receipts, we just make whatever's on the receipt. So I thought, oh, maybe she's switching it up today. But it just tells us what's on there. Must have been a problem with the app. Our app sucks. But I just make what's on the receipt and I put it on the shelf. I'm sorry.
She even apologizes, but also clearly states, and in another TikTok also shows receipts, that in fact, the big TikTok lunch foodie creator teacher ordered the wrong stuff. And that is why she got a sandwich with tomatoes, without mayo, and with cucumbers. Yeah, so the crime against humanity is her very own fault. Now, after she got called out, because a lot of people on TikTok got wind that she was super ranty, trying to get Subway also to sponsor her in that situation, while throwing a Subway employee under the bus, that no, in fact, she herself simply ordered the wrong stuff. And she made a big fuss about that on her TikTok. She then, after she got called out by this Subway employee, which I have to say, kudos to you for being on your TikTok and saying, no, you are the one who ordered wrong. I don't even think she should have apologized or called that person. Hey, typically you order a lot here, but this time you have 2 things on the order that are not usually in your sandwiches. Is that correct or not? No, who does that? She just misordered and she went on her TikTok again and she apologized. Now, with this apology, I have to say, I like it. She says all of the right things. She did all of the right things. The only thing that does rub me the wrong way is that she only came out apologizing after the employee spoke out and showed a receipt that she actually ordered the wrong food, that it wasn't the employees, that it wasn't Subway's fault. That is the one thing that does rub me the wrong way, but the apology itself, in my opinion, is good. That's how you should apologize. You should also apologize if you make a mistake on the platform where you made that mistake and not try to sneak over to other platforms. She also has a YouTube channel. She also has an Instagram. She has millions and millions of followers, but she addresses it on her biggest platform. I appreciate that. Would have just been nice if that didn't happen after the employee outed her for being a liar.
Let's talk about the elephant, or in this case, the big sandwich in the room. I didn't double check my order before placing it. I was in a rush trying to order it, and I think I clicked something wrong or it glitched or something, and my special instructions got wiped out and reset. And I just didn't realize it before I placed the order. I was so excited to eat it. I was so hungry. So when I opened my meal and realized that it wasn't what I thought I ordered, I was bummed. But I also took the opportunity to make it overly dramatic, and it just wasn't funny like I thought it would be.
That's the thing. She wants to be funny, but I think it doesn't come across as funny. It was just ranty, it was just mean. And what somebody with over 5 million followers, not getting tired to say that on TikTok, it also can actually harm other people. When people know you live in the city, you order from Subway, it's not a good look for Subway and for the employees. And if you have such a huge social media platform, just don't post about it. Be angry that your order was messed up. Talk to your colleagues about it. Talk to your fiance at home about it, to your family, to your friends, and saying, hey, this really messed up my day. I do hope that you have people in your life who will also then tell you, it's just lunch. You'll get over it, all right? It's okay. But to post this on TikTok, yep, that was the main issue, that she had to air this out to over 5 million followers, also using this as an opportunity yet again to get a sponsorship, getting free stuff and sponsorships even in those ranty TikToks.
I made the wrong judgment call there. Although it may have come across differently, there was no negativity targeted towards any of the Subway employees. I see them once or twice a week. They are all super nice. I went in today to apologize to all of them, including the one who made the sandwich, and just to tell them that I seriously appreciate everything they do and all of their hard work.
And I think that's good. I think it's a good way to apologize, to address this. It doesn't come across that she wasn't ranting about the employees, that she wasn't blaming the employees. You know, when she was throwing the sandwich around the schoolroom, it didn't come across nice. No, it didn't. But it is good she apologizes, and it's good that she went into the store and apologized in person as well. Like I said, I appreciate that. Would have been nice if she could have clarified that beforehand and not after the employee called her out.
They're one of only 2 fast food chains in this town, so I just wanted to let them know that they're very appreciated.
Like I said, I appreciate that apology from her. I think it was good. It was done very well. And it is in the end the employee's decision to decide if they want to accept that apology. What I don't find very good is that how she reacted to the original TikTok when she got a lot of feedback, pretty much begging people to pay her for her bachelorette weekend, to at least get her products for her also beloved bridesmaids and people that will also participate in the wedding to show appreciation. Yes, she's going to pay for some products as well, but any brand is welcome. Not just, brands that are actually on brand for her, like food stuff makes complete sense to me because that is where she got her following from eating her lunch at school. But why would other companies want to sponsor you when you're known for eating on your TikTok? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless Subway wants to send a sandwich to her bachelorette weekend. She didn't understand why she got a lot of negative feedback. She regularly seems to get a lot of negative feedback for the way she presents herself on social media. This Subway thing is one example. And she understood, this wasn't good. That's why I have an apology. But I don't understand why people are mad at me when I ask for brands to send me free stuff for my bachelorette party. That is something she doesn't understand.
The video I made yesterday definitely ruffled some feathers in the comments. Not really sure why. Not doing anything different than what most influencers and content creators do. I made a video where I just said, if you're a brand and you want me to promote your products or feature you on my social media platforms, DM me. I'm hosting a bachelorette at the beach and I'm making some gifts for my guests.
I'm making some gifts for my guests that I appreciate so much, but I would also like for you to send me products. It's not that hard to understand that people with millions of followers on social media begging for more stuff, begging for free stuff is not a good look. And just because other influencers do it doesn't mean that it's okay. Other influencers do weird stuff. I have an entire playlist now about influencers doing weird things. Ironically, most of them are on TikTok. And she's approaching this yet again in a very, very strange way because she says, once again, the haters are taking over my comment section. Why are haters taking over your comment section? Maybe ask yourself that every once in a while. Yelling at Subway employees when they have done nothing wrong is not a great idea. Asking and begging for free shit and for sponsorships is also not a good look. So people critiquing you for this and saying, hey, not a good look, don't do that. It's kind of entitled. You're not being funny. It's just really, really tone deaf in this day and age. Most people don't have such a following, and you're asking for free shit when you go on a bachelorette weekend. It's very privileged. So, read the room. Don't ask for free stuff. It says, once again, the haters are taking over my comment section, all because I tried to shoot my shot with brands so I could give back to my amazing friends on my Bach. What? What does Bach have to do with that? Classical music? Does she wants to get sponsored by Bach? On my beach? On my bachelorette? I think it's bachelorette. It didn't come across as funny. It didn't come across as nice and sweet and cool. It didn't come across as somebody who's on brand. It came across as somebody who was begging, it was the TikTok I showed you in the beginning, for free stuff. Generally, people don't like that. People don't want to witness that.
If you want to be part of that, awesome, direct message me. The amount of comments in my comment section saying, I'm so embarrassing, I'm so desperate, why am I doing that? Why am I begging for sponsorships again? I'm not begging for sponsorships.
It sounds very much beggy. I understand that people would interpret that as begging, so would I. If you want to come across as funny, but you consistently don't hit the mark. I will show you another example why people think that she's begging. And I would say she's begging as well for the bachelorette party. And then when you're ranting about an order that somebody allegedly got wrong, to reach out and say, hey, company that allegedly got my order wrong, sponsor me. It's a good thing. I'm one of your most valued customers because I purchase a lot of your stuff. People in her comment section make it very clear why she got that feedback. You're just not likable, and I've followed you for years. But it is you, you're not likable. Yes, you have 5 million, but I'm sorry, you whine, you complain, you often sound entitled. It's you, babes, it's you. And somebody else said, but you're not an influencer. You just eat lunch on here, lol. It is true that it's rather easy to get followers on TikTok, and I mean 5 million is a huge number. She also has followers on Instagram, and she also has followers on YouTube, but the stuff that she uploads is not something that requires a lot of work. It's not like researching a video, filming a video, editing it, uploading, putting in the description. It's a 2-minute video, it's a 3-minute video, easily done on your phone. You can easily upload that, and that's kind of the blessing of TikTok in a way, because you can easily get a following rather quickly, but people don't necessarily consider her an influencer or a content creator. She just eats on TikTok. I would say that's also what influencers do. I wouldn't consider her a content creator, because with these types of videos, eating on TikTok, you don't have to put a lot of work into this. And people, it looks like, simply don't like her, who have followed her for years and who said, you do this regularly. You're not funny, you're entitled, you always ask for free stuff. And as somebody who has followed you for years, I don't appreciate that. In that case, I would say unfollow, unsubscribe, don't watch that person. Don't give that person your social media currency. That's honestly the best thing you can do. I wouldn't want to follow somebody I dislike. I don't want to see that person pop up on my TikTok or on my Instagram or on my YouTube regularly, but that is the feedback she gets, and she doesn't seem to get it. She doesn't seem to understand it.
I'm not begging for sponsorships. I don't understand why when I do completely normal things that all influencers and content creators do, why it's such a big deal when I do them, but nobody bats an eye when others do.
People in this day and age, the general audience of social media apps, are very alert and are very aware that that is strange behavior. Other people do that as well, so it should also be okay for me, but always the other people get called out and I don't. That is not true. I've done a good amount of videos now about entitled influencers, and they get called out for their stuff. Do you remember years ago when Manny MUA, who was back then a very big, a very popular makeup influencer, he was in a tropical location on a brand trip, very likely tripping with Tarte somewhere. He was on that trip telling his followers, I don't understand why I'm not on Kylie's PR list. Kylie Jenner at the time was the absolute shit with her lip kits, and he wasn't on the PR list, and that did rub him the wrong way. So he took time out of his day while he was on a brand trip, a very luxurious, exotic location with a makeup brand, asking his followers, how do I get onto that PR list? Why am I not on that PR list? It did rub people the wrong way. Unfortunately, the outcome was that he actually got on the PR list for a certain period of time. Brands also don't do that. It's not okay. It's not good. Please don't do that. All right? Stand your ground. Don't sponsor these people then. Don't send them free stuff. If they want to review your products, they can just buy them. He got a lot of feedback. People on TikTok specifically get a lot of feedback, a lot of criticism for their behavior. So it's not true that they don't get critiqued. It's only her. She's the victim yet again. She's the only one who gets called out. Nobody else does. Not true.
I follow so many other influencers who do this on a regular basis. And guess what? They get a lot of gifts from brands from those videos. I literally watched 2 separate influencers who made videos complaining about how they never got invited on Tarte trips, and now they've both been invited on multiple Tarte trips.
Maybe because those are beauty influencers and it's on brand for them. Maybe they have connections behind the scenes. Maybe they have an agent. Maybe they have a management who can get them those deals. Maybe they come across as likable and as somebody that Tarte wants to work with. Because she doesn't come across as very funny, in my opinion. And she doesn't come across as very entertaining, in my opinion. So if you don't have those qualities, despite you having 5 million followers on TikTok, you come across as baggy and you come across as complaining. That's the difference. Make it fun, make it entertaining, also for a brand. But that doesn't mean when you do it on a public platform and not behind the scenes, that your followers have to be okay with that. Because it's odd. It comes across as odd.
So I don't know why everyone's acting like this is such a crazy thing to do. In the video, I literally talked about how much I love my friends and how I am making gifts for them and I'm already put a lot of my own money into it. And I was just saying that if brands want to be included, that would be so amazing and I'd be so grateful. And to just let me know if they want to gift my friends anything.
It came across as begging and it came across as strange because she said any brands. She is somebody who eats lunch at school on TikTok. It is hard to sell that and it's hard to connect that to brands. So why reach out to companies and say any company? That comes across as desperate already. If you have weird products, send them my way. I would like to gift them to people so I don't have to spend the money because I already spent money on the trip and on some other gifts. It comes across as strange and it is not necessarily on brand for somebody who uploads videos eating lunch at school. It is hard to sell that. Why would a makeup company or a clothing company or a lifestyle company want to sponsor you? If you put out very niche-y content like this, then you're caught in a niche and you might not be that attractive for other brands. And most of the time, being on your social media saying, hey brand ABZD, I would like for you to sponsor me doesn't necessarily work out. Most of the things that happen behind the scenes. If you want to get a sponsorship, get a management, get an agent, sign up with an agency who then can get you certain deals. Many times that happens behind the scenes and not with you utilizing your social media as a way to connect yourself with brands. It comes across as strange. It simply does. And in this day and age, social media influencers or content creators who do this get called out because she has a job. She has millions of followers. She can easily purchase stuff herself. She very likely makes a good amount of income also from TikTok, and that's why it comes across as entitled. Asking for brand deals, asking for sponsorships, asking to be on PR lists, asking to be sent free stuff is something that should happen behind the scenes.
Literally none of it is for me. My bachelorette trip that I'm planning is for my friends, and I just thought it would be so cool to have some brands in on it if they wanted to be. I don't know why I always have to defend myself for this. I don't know why it's such a double standard for me versus other influencers, but I'm doing my best out here, and I just want my friends to have the best experience on my bachelorette. That's all I was hoping for. So if people get mad at that, then that is their problem and they have their own issues to sort out.
If people are mad about that, then they have their own problems. I would say, yeah, just don't follow that person anymore if it's annoying. I agree with that. Unfollow that individual. But also as a content creator, take responsibility. When you hear over and over again, you come across as desperate. It's not just you, there's other influencers as well. to ask for free stuff. It can rub your following the wrong way, especially if you do that multiple times. This wasn't the first or the second time that she has done that, and the people who have followed her for years, as I've shown in the comment before, have called her out for that kind of behavior. Another reason why her followers are fed up with her and why this entire thing blew up is because she consistently asks for free stuff or to get sponsored. In this case, not too long ago, she wanted to get sponsored by Superbowl, to get sent to the Super Bowl for free because she is one of the biggest football fans ever.
Okay, I want to talk about the fact that anytime I post a video, anything relating to wanting to go on a brand trip or wanting to work with a brand, and people comment things like, "You're so thirsty, what are you doing? Like, this is so embarrassing for you." And why is it that you're saying that? Because when other influencers do that, it's totally fine. Like, do you know how many big creators that I have seen complain about not getting to go on a Tarte trip, and then the next Tarte trip they're literally on it? Or like, not complaining about being on a Tarte trip, but like wanting to go on one and expressing that in their videos, and then the next Tarte trip they were literally on it. I didn't see any negative comments on those videos.
Yeah, I don't believe that, because my impression is that the viewership, the audience, is more and more critical about entitled influencers and call them out on that kind of behavior. Just because others are doing it doesn't mean that you have to do it. It comes across as entitled. In a day and age where people are able to afford less and less, this kind of behavior, public behavior on TikTok, is appreciated less and less. If it's entitled and tone deaf for others, it's entitled and tone deaf for her. But maybe, like I said before, the other influencers brought their desire across in a more fun way, in a more entertaining way, in a way that Tarte thought, well, yeah, okay, could be a certain benefit to invite that person. They seem like they're fun. They seem like they understand the business. She doesn't come across as very likable when she asks for free stuff.
So why is it the negativity on me when I put forth legit evidence as to why I'm a huge Chiefs fan, why I would be so honored with the opportunity for something like this, and people are just saying I'm a pick-me? And first of all, thank you to this comment who, like, yeah, it's not even just the amount of followers. It's just the fact that, like, why can't I ask? Why can't I shoot my shot? Like, why not? Just like any other influencer. I see so many influencers do it every single day and nobody complains about it.
Not true. Once again, I don't believe that for a second. It doesn't mean that she cannot ask for that, but she will get feedback if she does it publicly on a social media platform. When her followers tell her, hey, it's tone deaf, we don't like that, then maybe listen and ask yourself why and work on that behind the scenes.
And then they end up getting what they want. They end up getting to work with those cool brands. So I don't see why it's such a problem for me. And you know what I think it is? It's because I'm a teacher and people hate teachers. Like, I'm sorry, maybe that's cynical, but I'm convinced that that is why. Also, I don't live in New York. I don't live out east, Miami, Philly, New York. I don't live in LA. Like,
that's kind of desperate. Not that she doesn't live in any of the cool cities. People don't like that she's asking for things because she's a teacher. Yeah. Most people really dislike teachers. It's one of the worst professions ever. No, people have a lot of respect for teachers. And to my understanding, teachers in the United States, that is where she is living, also don't get paid huge sums for the amount of work that they do, and they should be compensated better. You're not in a network marketing company, sweetie. You're not a politician. Then that would be very likely a profession that people don't like. You're a drug dealer. Yeah, maybe people have an issue with that. People don't like you because you are a teacher. I've never heard that before. Never.
I don't live in any of those cool cities. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But I don't see why I can't shoot my shot. I don't know why that's pick me. I'm just doing my best out here. But thank you to everybody just like this person who gave me such positive comments. And I'm sure the Chiefs will never respond, and I will probably be watching the Super Bowl from my couch as planned, but that's okay. That's totally okay. I love you guys.
She was on her TikTok very, very desperately begging the Super Bowl to invite her to the Super Bowl because she is the biggest fan ever. And she doesn't understand why people have a problem with that. She doesn't seem to understand that this comes across as tone deaf and as entitled. As somebody who has a lot of followers on TikTok, she should be able to afford a lot of these things for herself. And to finish this video, I will show you how she was asking, in a not begging way, for the Super Bowl to invite her to the Super Bowl finale. That way you can judge yourself if you think that this is somebody who is a serial beggar on TikTok. Somebody who comes across as entitled, somebody who comes across as tone deaf, and somebody who might have to take this with brands behind the scenes. Get a management, get an agent, saying it again, so that these people can take care of that if they have a fit with the right brand. So let's take a look at her begging to go to the Super Bowl.
The fact that it is the third year in a row that the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, the city in which I live, the third year in a row that the Chiefs have made it to the Super Bowl, and I have not been invited by the Super Bowl, by the Chiefs, by any brands. Yeah, it feels personal at this point. It really does. I go to the games. I post about going to the games. I wear my Chiefs gear every single week on Fridays and sometimes on other days too. Sundays, obviously, as well. I don't know what else I have to do. I am such a huge fan. Ever since I have moved onto Kansas City soil, which I have been living in the Kansas/Kansas City area for almost 10 years now. Ever since I moved here, I've been a Chiefs fan. Not only that, I've been a football fan my entire life. Huge football fan. I watch 6 hours of football every single Sunday. Like, it is my life. I love it so much. And I post about it a lot. And so the fact that I haven't been invited, yeah, I'm heartbroken, especially when I get to see all of these amazing influencers who get invited every year and they have no connection to either team involved in the Super Bowl and sometimes no connection to football whatsoever. Yeah, I want to be invited. So just take this as my application. Brands. I love to eat. I love to drink. I love everything. So that won't be an issue. So if you want to bring me to the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year, I am also a huge Chiefs fan. Like, you will not regret it. I promise. Yeah, it feels personal that I haven't been invited, honestly. It feels personal. I know it's not, but it feels that way. Go Chiefs.
This is just strange, and that's why I think that her audience has a problem with that. I do believe that she tries to be funny. It doesn't come across as funny, does it? It's not very entertaining in my opinion. She says, my formal application to any lovely brands who would like to invite me to the Super Bowl in New Orleans or a Super Bowl party. Invite me to something, to anything. It doesn't come across as funny when she says that she thinks it's personal. She knows it's not, but it's personal. And this is her formal application. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe she thinks she's funny, but she is not. And that is why she comes across as entitled rather than entertaining for brands to sponsor her. And that's also why her followers don't like to watch these things, because they apparently follow her predominantly because she eats stuff, her school lunch, and that's what people watch. That's it. Mystery solved. Here's a tip. Just don't do that kind of behavior. Really. Try to work on your career in the back end, behind the scenes, with a team of people who can potentially get your sponsorships if that's what you want to do. If there is no connection to the brand, you don't come across as funny, then the over 5 million followers on TikTok are not a great social media currency for most brands. For most brands, that's a business. If they sponsor a creator, if they give them free stuff, they want something out of it. They want something in return. And if they don't think that a content creator or an influencer is a good fit, then they will not sponsor them. Being on your social media, begging for free stuff, begging for free trips is not helpful. It will just make your audience dislike you more and more, and then you will be one of those people who very likely rage bait, because that's when you get the most views, but that is not sustainable. And it's also probably not a nice way to live when you get consistently negative feedback. So Just don't do it. If you find that kind of behavior annoying, then unfollow those people. Let's not empower influencers we find annoying in 2025. Let's just unsubscribe, not watch them. Let's not give them our social media currency. I have to turn the camera off now. I have to put the phone down. I will have to go outside, look at the clouds, hug a tree, hug a puppy. That's my plan for now. It's time to get offline. If you liked this video, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, tschüss!